Okay, after choosing one of your sketches with the teacher, so you should have done them in pencil first, checked with the teacher, and then you are coloring them in colored pencil like this example is. So all three will be colored first before you begin the cardboard part. But once you choose with the teacher which one you're going to carry out, you will get a large piece of cardboard. I can't fit the whole thing in the screen, but here's a large piece. And what we're going to be doing is getting this basic head shape in of whichever one you chose. So if I was doing this one, this would be the head shape. All these other things will be extra addition pieces. So I'm going to try to draw this on here while you're looking through the video here. But it's not exactly going to be perfect because I can't get the whole thing into the screen here. So I like to use the edge. So if this is a straight edge on your drawing, so for example if it's this straight edge here, then you don't need to draw another one, just use that. And then if it's going to come down, okay, came right down here, and then if this is the straight chin, and then it's going to come up and then up to that side. So we want the mask background to be fairly big, so that's why we don't want to cut off much. Then you can get your scissors, and you're going to need to cut at the back of the scissors, not at the tips, because this is thicker cardboard. So as you cut, you can kind of bend that piece back out of your way and keep cutting. I'm going to finish cutting and I have cut the head here. You can see kind of more of the bottom of the shape here. And then I do save my scraps because you'll use those for your eyes, nose, mouth, or ears, or hair. So I'm going to start off with doing one of these eyes here so you can see what I mean. So you can see I have sort of like a rectangle here. If I can use that out of this piece, I will. So I'm going to go ahead and cut as big one as I could. Because the bigger these eyes, nose, and mouth are, the more interesting and center of interest these will have. So that's a good one. And then I then need to do the actual eyeball part that will go on top of there. So if I look at the space, I need the eye to kind of fit in here. Technically you should be drawing on the back. I should have done that before. So you want to draw on the back because then it's easier to hide your pencil. So if this is going to be my eye shape, and then again use my scissors, cutting at the back of the scissors. And save your scraps. You can use those for other things. So there I have those two pieces. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do just to show you these different steps is I'm going to color this with the oil pastel. With the green here on my background of this rectangle. As you use some of these oil pastels, you'll see which colors look better on the brown than others. So I'm going to actually do a little bit of mixing because it does look a little more interesting when I do that. And that is the point of using oil pastels, to kind of get that color blending. And I go back over it again with this lighter yellow, green. Okay. Alright, and then when you're happy with that, then I can stop with that, and I'm going to then also show you how to do the eye here. So again, I'm looking at my sketch during this time so that I have an idea on what I'm doing. So I'm going to do the pupil. I might mix a little bit of color in there again. And then I'm going to do the iris. I'm going to try this orange color. Now, if your colors change a little bit from your sketch, that's fine. Remember, the sketch is sort of just like an idea. Sometimes your idea will change, and that's totally fine. Mix a little bit of yellow with that orange. And if that's all you want, that's fine, but I actually ended up having the white part of the eye have some color as well. So if the oil pastel is looking like crayon, then you're probably not using it correctly. It should have some blending or sort of like a paint quality to it. So I'm mixing this blue and red, and it should look kind of like a purple. Okay, so if I have finished these two pieces, I'm going to show you how we can add some dimension to them. So using these scrap pieces here, I'm going to cut a few to go behind the eye. Make sure they're not too long. I don't want them sticking out. So all of these would fit behind there without sticking out. Then I'm going to get my glue bottle and I'm going to start putting some glue on the back. And this is just going to give it some height on top of that green rectangle. Then I'll put a little bit of glue for the eye to go on top of. And now I am going to need to hold that. If you push too hard, it kind of slides around, but if you just push it fairly gently, it'll start to stick and dry a little bit. So I'm going to show you by standing this on its side. You can kind of see inside there that this will help this stick up off the page. It'll look really nice and gives it kind of a shadow underneath here as well. You could even do that on the back of this when we put it on the mask. So what you're going to want to do is use your scraps or the cereal box cardboard and start making your nose, your mouth, your ears, and your hair, all similar to how I showed you with the eye. Remember, bigger is better. You will also want to put your name and room number on the back of anything that you are creating. So I would put my first name, my last name, and my room number. This is the front, so I don't want to write it on there, so I would write that back here on the back of my cardboard. That way, if anything gets separated from where we're going to store these, we can find your things.